What is up everyone, Hero276 here, and welcome to my channel and welcome to today's video. Man, do we have a spicy one for you to start off the season of Spice. We have a triple dark team, starting off with Skuntank as our lead, and then Sableye and Scrafty in the back. Try saying that team name 5 times fast. But anyways, we pick up a lead against a Charmer. It's a Charmalol on Ninetales, and honestly, this is a great lead for us because, you know, it's a Charmer. Obviously, you want to see a Charm in the lead where the Poison type is. So, my opponent's safe switch is Walrein, and Walrein is not a safe switch with this team because we have Scrafty to shut it all down right here. And Scrafty is going to rev up its counter damage with these power-up punches. The first one actually gets the shield, which is very nice. And at this rate, we stuck a counter through, so more than likely we will be able to counter down this Walrein and leave with a boosted foul play. So, we're going to look to farm all the way down. And the Alola Ninetales comes back in, so I throw the power-up punch, just to do some nice neutral damage. I could have probably thrown the foul play, but, you know, it's whatever. We have Skuntank aligned with it now. My opponent actually does a very nice catch onto Wishcash. I did not see this at first in the battles, but it was a really nice catch. But Crunch does get the defense drop, and Sableye is here to shut it all down. Good game to my opponent, very well played. More than likely, we're going to be able to finish this one right here. So, I actually do not have to shield this first move. It's actually a Water Pulse, which doesn't do a ton of damage. So, I'm going to look to Shadow Claw all the way down. And that's going to be even more possible now that I snuck through that Shadow Claw. So, I shield up the Mud Bomb, and we're going to likely leave with a return. Not without a little bit of lag first, but that's okay. We leave with the return. Wishcash goes down. And return is here for the Alola Ninetales. Boom! Takes out the Alola Ninetales, and that is a good game to my opponent. Very well played. Let's hop into the next one. Alright, game number 2, and we get an Azumarill lead. This is very good for us. My opponent's safe switch is Registeel, and we have Scrafty. So, again, not a safe switch for the Registeel, so now we have hard alignment right here. This is very good for us. We do have to watch out for Focus Blast though, so I am going to elect to shield on the charge move. But it's just the Zap Cannon, which is unfortunate. That would have not taken me out. But we're annulled at attack right now, and getting this power-up punch would actually put us back to +1, which is where we were before. And at this rate, because the Registeel no-shielded, we should be able to counter down, and we do. The Azumarill comes in. And no sense of going for power-up punch. We're going straight foul play here, looking to do as much damage as possible onto this Azumarill so that way we can farm down with Skuntank. I almost called it Stunky by accident. Please forgive me for the stutter right there. But yeah, we do get to this foul play right here. This gets the Azumarill nice and modestly low. The Azumarill decides to throw their energy, so I'm just going to let this go through. It's a Hydro Pump. They should be back to 0 in terms of energy. They throw 2 more bubbles. And then they swap into Cofagrigus, and this is effectively a good game because all of our team does super well against ghost types, being a triple dark team. So, Sableye here gets the foul play, gets the shield, so my opponent still has a shield, and at this rate, I am going to let this go through. It's the Shadow Ball. We survive, and I'm going to just get a couple more Shadow Claws in there, so that gets the Cofagrigus modestly low right there, and this will just be cleanup work for the Skuntank right here. We go for the Crunch and they no-shield it, and it's just that really low Azumarill in the back, and my opponent decides to surrender right there. So good game to my opponent, very well played. Alright, so in game number 3, we pick up a lead against Talonflame, and I'm going to immediately switch into Sableye. Sableye kind of acts as my safe switch, and I'm also using it to hopefully bait out any charm users that we might see. So that way we can align them with the Skuntank that we have. But it appears that they're not running any Charmers because my opponent's deciding to stay in here. So we're going to commit any shields that we can to try and win switch advantage. Unfortunately, we do not get to the next foul play in time, but my hope is that we can manage our energy well enough to get to 1 before the next foul play, before they throw their 3rd Incinerate, which we do, and at this rate, this will be getting the 2nd shield, and because we're 1 off from the next foul play, the Incinerate will not actually register, and we're going to be able to throw the foul play to KO this Talonflame. So we have successfully won switch, and there's an Abomasnow in the back. And this is really nice because Scrafty has a brilliant matchup here against this Abomasnow. One thing that I noticed is that my opponent is not switching out, so there must be another thing that's very weak to Scrafty in the back, and sure enough, it's Frostlass. Now you could have argued that I should have stayed in there and then thrown the boosted foul play, but I just wanted to feature Skuntank. I just invested in this thing and I love it personally, so I'm going to go for the Crunch, and Crunch will almost take out the Frostlass, so effectively this is a good game. One Poison Jab takes out the Frostlass, and another Poison Jab takes care of the Abomasnow, so that's a good game to my opponent. Very well played. Alright, game number 4, and we pick up an excellent lead against Venusaur. Venusaur is dealing resisted damage to us, and we are dealing neutral damage to the Venusaur. We can safely body one move. Frenzy Plant doesn't do a ton of damage just because it's resisted. And we're going to actually overfarm and go for the Crunch right here. And the fact that my opponent did not switch out of a negative matchup has me believing that something is weak to Skuntank in the back. So they come in with Walrein. I'm actually going to build up to a move and then come in with Sableye just to see if there's a Charmer in the back. But there is no Charmer in the back because Walrein is staying in here. We're going to go for the Foul Play right here, and Foul Play will be doing some nice chip damage. But my opponent actually shields the Foul Play, so Scrafty should be good to take care of the Walrein with shield advantage, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to bring in the Scrafty once they farm us down. And Skuntank still has a move, so this has me hopeful that Skuntank can also close, just in case Scrafty somehow goes down. But yeah, my opponent does not have a Charm User, so this is looking really good for me. I actually go for the power-up punch right here to start revving up my counters, and my opponent commits their second shield, so we're going to be able to counter all the way down. We survive whatever move this is. Icicle Sphere, doesn't matter, gets us down to about half health, and in the back is a Jirachi. This poor Jirachi is going to get absolutely vaporized by a boosted Foul Play. Foul Play! Boom! One-shots the Jirachi from almost full health, and that's a good game to my opponent. Very well played. Hopping into game number 5, and we pick up a lead against Nidoqueen. Nidoqueen is not a great lead for us. Scrafty's weak to it, and Skuntank is also weak to it. Earth Power will be doing massive damage, but they throw relatively early, so I no shield, and it is the Poison Fang. But we're going to go for Crunch right here, and Crunch will soften the Nidoqueen. And we're going to actually come in with Sableye to start Shadow Clawing, doing some fast move pressure. The Nidoqueen throws right here, so I am going to actually shield. And it is the Earth Power, so it's a great shield on my part. And my opponent comes in with a Talonflame. And this is really good for me, because we are so far ahead on energy. And we will actually be getting shields back, because we'll start to unload these Foul Plays onto the Talonflame. I make a mistake and go for the return. Really should just be going straight Foul Play in this matchup, because this is basically at the point where Foul Play would still be threatening shields. I'm going to let the Flame Charge go through, and I'm going to take my shield advantage. So, I let the Sableye go down, and I come in with Skuntank. And Skuntank will be able to reach the Crunch to KO the Talonflame. At this rate, I have to see what's in back, and it's Golbat. But my opponent tries to catch a move on the Nidoqueen, which allows me to build up to a move on the Skuntank and snipe with the Scrafty. And now, this is a really good position for me. I can body whatever move this is. It's the Poison Fang, so be it. But I'll be able to reach a Foul Play in time, and this will be doing some massive chip damage onto the Crobat. And now, they can't catch any more. They're out of shields, and the Foul Play connects for huge damage. I actually reach a power-up punch, which it's definitely not going to take this thing out, but, you know, any damage is good damage. And now, I have a shield and a move stored for the Skuntank. We lose CMP, but it doesn't matter because we're going to be able to shield, and we're going to be able to throw the Crunch to secure the KO on the Golbat, and that's a good game to my opponent. Very well played. Let's hop into the next match. Alright, moving right along into Game 6, and we pick up a lead against Charizard. So, Charizard's another Pokemon that typically likes to run with Charm Users, so I actually swap into Sableye, hoping to bait out the Charm User, but it doesn't appear that there are any Charm Users, otherwise my opponent would have swapped into theirs by now. We're going to call the Dragon Claw right here. Notice how my opponent shielded the Foul Play. Because they Dragon Clawed, we're actually going to be able to get to yet another Foul Play just before we go down. And this will be probably getting my opponent's second shield. So Charizard's low, has no shields left, and we have a 2 shield advantage. So we're in a great spot right here. We're going to shield whatever move this is. It's just the Dragon Claw, but Skuntank is going to be able to Poison Jab all the way down. We have to see what's in the back. It's actually a Samurott, so looks like it's an ABC style team, typically with some grass type in the back, so we'll have to see. Samurott gets to a move, but it's actually just the Razor Shell, and my opponent catches a Foul Play onto an Alolan Raichu. You know how this is going to go. Foul Play, boom! Nearly one-shots the Alolan Raichu. That wasn't even a boosted one. Alolan Raichu is so glassy, and Scrafty's going to be able to reach another Foul Play in time to take care of the Samurott. So this is going to be a good game to my opponent. Very well played. We're going to hop right into Game 7 in just a little bit. Alright, here we go. Game 7, Lead against Clefable, which is a Charmer. Really good that we're seeing it here and not aligned against our back line. So we're going to go for a Crunch right here, just to look to maybe do either some chip damage or get a shield. And it actually gets a shield right there, which is super nice. No defense drop, however, so I don't think I'll be able to Poison Jab all the way down. And just to be safe, I do end up throwing the Crunch right there. Probably could have, but I wanted to be safe. And it's actually going to be a Skarmory that comes in, and I'm very grateful that I have alignment, because obviously Scrafty does not want to see a flying type. So, Sableye's going to come in. We're going to go for Foul Play. Foul Play should be doing some nice chip damage right there. And it was actually CMP. So I'm actually going to shield the Sky Attack. Sky Attack does get a shield on my part, and now we're at even shields. We're going to be able to outpace the Foul Play right here, but I throw just before they get to their Sky Attack just so I can manage my energy a little bit better. And yeah, Foul Play KOs, so that's very nice. Azumarill comes in, and this is bad. We have to land the return here to have a shot at winning this game. Return! Boom! That chunks Azumarill, and Scrafty comes in. And we have to call the Ice Beam here. Is it Play Rough or Ice Beam? It's just Ice Beam. We survive with modest health, and my opponent surrenders. So it's a good game to my opponent. Very well played. Alright, so we pick up a Frostlass lead, and honestly, this is a bit tricky. Despite being a Dark type leading into a Ghost type, our poison moves are resisted, so I try to catch onto Sableye, but it fails. So now Frostlass has a ton of energy, and we're met with a Whiscash. Now, it's good that we're actually meeting up against a Whiscash, because Whiscash would do very well against the Skuntank. They get to a move, the Mud Bomb. I try to sneak his Shadow Claw through, and I get it, so I'm going to shield, because at this rate, I will be able to build up to the back-to-back Foul Plays. One for the Whiscash to take it out, so this will take out the Whiscash right here. And at this rate, I will be able to throw the next one onto the Frostlass if I didn't try to sneak the Shadow Claw through, which I try to do, but it fails. I don't want to go down 2 shields, so I end up letting it go. I come in with Skuntank, immediately throw the Crunch, and they catch on to Medicham. And this is bad, because Scrafty is weak to Medicham, so I really cannot let the Medicham see Scrafty, so I have to stay in this matchup. They throw an Ice Punch. We survive, and we're going to be able to get to a Crunch, but unfortunately, once Skuntank is done, Scrafty has a very negative matchup against Medicham. So we're at even shields, and I'm at a disadvantage with the alignment, so unfortunately, I basically have to pray that the Medicham doesn't do too much damage, and I do unfortunately have to shield the Ice Punch, because I don't want to get too low to the point where I can't deal with the Frostlass. So I have to preserve health on the Scrafty. Power Up Punch does not KO, but the next counter does, and it's just that Frostlass left. But unfortunately, with all that energy, they definitely are going to outpace me. So unfortunately, my opponent did best me there, and that's a good game. Alright, second to last game, and we pick up a lead against Machamp, so I'm going to try to come in with the Sableye. And my opponent stays in for a bit before swapping into a Walrein. This is definitely a mistake on my opponent. They definitely should have been earlier to the swap, because they just dealt a ton of Shadow Claw damage. Plus, we outpaced the Foul Play thanks to being ahead by a couple Shadow Claws on energy. We survive one Icicle Sphere, and we're going to be able to get to the next Foul Play. And this will either be KOing the Walrein or getting a shield, and it gets a shield. Now, if Walrein tries to farm me down, which it looks like they are, we are going to be able to reach one more foul play, and this is going to be getting the opponent's second shield or taking them out, and we get both shields. So now we have 2-0 shield advantage with the Skuntank, and honestly, I have to shield something. I'll still have a shield advantage either way, and we do end up shielding that Icicle Sphere right there. Machamp comes in, and we get to the crunch in time, and this will be KOing the Machamp. Shadow Machamp especially is really glassy, so even resisted moves like that crunch will be KOing. And then Nidoqueen comes in, and up a shield. This looks pretty good. Normally, it would be pretty disastrous if we saw a Shadow Nidoqueen in the back, but because they have no shields and we have one, we should be in a decent spot. Crunch lands and does some nice damage. We come in with Scrafty, and I think my opponent force closed the app due to Rage. So we got a Rage Quit right there. That's a good game to my opponent. Very well played. Let's hop into our final battle. Alright, final battle, and we lead into an Umbreon. This is perfect for us, specifically because it's running Psychic, and we will have that resistance. Umbreon's going to go straight Foul Play. That is the preferred move. It's the more energy efficient one, because both Foul Play and Psychic are both single resisted. We have absolutely no reason to go for the Crunch. We're going straight Sludge Bomb here in this matchup. And as you can see, it actually does modest damage, and it does add up over time. Speaking of add up over time, these Foul Plays, like, they might tickle right now, but, you know, they are going to start to add up. So I'm actually going to catch the next one on my Scrafty, and this is double resisted right here. So this might actually force my opponent to swap out if they have any Charmers. And sure enough, they do have a Fairy type, and it is Azumarill. It's not a Charmer, but it's definitely a Fairy type that we want to see, because it would do a lot of damage against our backline. But thankfully, we have a move stored on our Skuntank, so that way Skuntank can, you know, take care of it very easily. So, Scrafty is just going to go for Foul Play after Foul Play, getting this Azumarill nice and low, and we're just going to let this charge move from the Azumarill go. Let's see what it is. It is the Play Rough. That will be taking us out from this range. So, we're going to just commit all the way to the Poison Jab down, shielding once if we have to, which it looks like we're going to, but Bubble will not do a lot of damage, so they will not be able to bubble us down in time. Let's see what comes back in. Alright, and it is going to be the Umbreon. So, Sludge Bomb here, going to be doing neutral damage. And it gets the Umbreon very low, but one Poison Jab is enough to take it out. And in the back is a Alolan Marowak. And we do have a move stored on Skuntank, so as long as we get to 2 Foul Plays, we should be in a position to close this match. So Foul Play number 1 is going to get the shield. We just need to get to the next one. Alright, and they're at a move. We sneak a Shadow Claw through, so I am going to shield it. Unfortunately, it is just the Bone Club. And we get to the Foul Play, but unfortunately, Alolan Marowak gets to another move. The question, can we survive the Shadow Bone? Yes, we do. We get off the Foul Play, and at this rate, this game is effectively over. Foul Play gets the shield. Alolan Marowak will be able to farm down the Sableye, but Skuntank still has a Crunch. And Crunch will be taking care of the Alolan Marowak, so that's a good game to my opponent, very well played, and that's the end of the battles. As you can see in the thumbnail, we did go 10-5 with this team, and I was thoroughly pleased with the results that this team gave me. I thought it was a very nice start to the Season of Spice, and I look forward to sharing more spicy content with you on this channel. Speaking of spicy content, be on the lookout for the Battle Wheel for the Great League. You'll see the video when it releases. It's my surprise video for you. It will be releasing sometime this weekend. One final announcement is that I am recording my 4th album on March 14th, and that day I will release my 2nd album. So I know I promised to you guys that my 2nd album would come out in February. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to push it back to that March 14th. I'm really sorry, you guys. I got backlogged with college work. But luckily spring break is coming up, so I'll be able to dish out a ton of content to you guys, so be on the lookout for that. That said, thanks so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one.